Hey guys, Obi-Wan here. Just wanted to try to make a short, quick video to try to help you out with your cam modding a little bit. Gonna use my guys as the examples and the mods that I have on them. That way we can try to get a little bit of reasoning as to why we're doing what we're doing on this. The order that you want to focus on modding these guys, follow the mod guy that's in CD save in the CD save post channel. But start from left to right: Shaak, then Rex, then Echo, Arc, and then Fives finally. So let's start with Shaak. For her, we need to focus on health and speed. One quick thing to mention: the relic levels. The reason those end up mattering, it's easier to hit the target goals that we're trying to achieve the higher the relic. It's not necessary to have them at all at 7, but the higher the relics, the more it does help. But like I said, we were going to focus on health and speed for her. Let's try to use a speed set and a health set to help achieve that, make it a little bit easier on yourselves. You got to work with the mods that you do have, though. If you don't have a good speed and health set, you're going to have to try to focus on what you have to help reach those goals. All the circles for all these guys are going to be health primaries. Your protection in this mission is not useful at all. Trample negates it by 50% or minus 50% per stack or per stack of trample. So each one of these needs to be a health primary. These really do need to be 6-dot mods to bump them up to the 16%. They're when they're at 5-dot, it's just a 5.88% health. So that 6-dot boost that they get is a pretty big jump. Speed, try to get the highest speed that you can on each one of these starting out. These other stats are not going to matter. She's not going to really contribute anything offensively with her attacks anyways. So mainly health and speed. Your cross, same thing, health primary, focus on speed. This one has a little bit of flat health. Makes a little bit of difference, but not a giant difference. Your triangle, same thing, health primary, focus on speed. These don't have any other supporting stats, so that's all you're going to get out of that one. All the diamonds are defense, so they are what they are. Focus on speed. This one has a little bit of a percent health padding to it that does help. Percent health is a lot more useful than flat health. Just like this one that had this one that just had just the flat stat of health. These contribute a lot more, but like I said, you got what you got. You got to use what you have. Squares, all of them are offense, so focus on the speed. If you can get health out of them, also that's great. But like I said, use what you got. These arrows now. Ideally, you want a crit avoidance arrow with good speed, of course, as a secondary. You may not have these developed yet, so if you do not have the crit avoidance arrow, it's advised probably to use a speed arrow. If you happen to have a health primary with some crazy secondary speed on it, you could even use that, but more than likely it's going to be a speed arrow, the plus 32 speed. Try to squeeze out any health secondaries if you can from it. But like I said, ideally crit avoidance, but not everybody's going to have them developed just yet. It takes a while to find them, try to roll them over to get some decent speed out of them. But that's going to be Shaak Ti. So her targets, you at least want to hit 80k, but realistically, you need to hit past 90, as close to 90 as you can, anyways, and above. The higher, the better. Her speed minimum would, if you're running crit avoidance, they say minimum of 310, but obviously the faster the better. If you're not running crit avoidance, if you have the speed arrow, you want to at least hit 340 on there. And like I said, if you can't hit these stats, it's not the end of the world. You just got to make do with what you got. So try to get to as close to those as you can, and if not higher. The crit avoidance, you'll see it down here in this stat, but that's just from the arrow. She doesn't have anything extra from her own stats. Moving on to Rex. Rex is kind of the same. Focus on health and speed. Now his health is his target health is a little different from Shock. You want him in a certain range, but I'll explain here in a little bit why his health is a little lower looking than what you might think it should be. Same thing, speed and health sets on these are ideal to help with your target goals that you're getting. Circle, like I said before, primary for the health, focus on speed secondaries. Kind of the same as Shock. He's not going to really do it much offensively. He's going to end up hitting Django, but that's with aerial assault, so that's not going to the other stuff's not going to matter. Your cross, you have a few options here. It really depends which ones you're using as primaries on your between these two. Your cross can either be health or offense, ideally. They can be potency or even tenacity. What you're looking to get out of it in your secondaries is speed, obviously. So the best one that you've got with the highest speed is probably what you would use. Same thing with your triangle. This one can either be health, offense, crit damage, crit chance, something like that. With good secondary speed. Now, one of these two needs to be a health, but probably not both of them because you'll overshoot your health range. But I'll explain a little bit more of that. But like I said, you kind of have a little bit of wiggle room with these two to help play with the numbers. Your diamond's going to again focus on your speed secondary. Get it as high as you can. Same thing with the square. Get it as best as you can on that. The arrow, they recommend a crit avoidance. It's really not, in my opinion, it's really not that crucial for him to have the crit avoidance. I would run the speed arrow on him. And then just whatever stats you can get out of here. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But his goals, his health goal, we don't want it to get above 70,000. Reason being for that, Rex is the one that's ideal for 5's sacrifice. We want Rex dying off if we can get him to. That's not always how it works, but he's the most ideal candidate for it. So we don't want it too high. So he want him a little bit squishy, so he dies off relatively easy, but not too squishy where he just can't take anything. Speed, we need him at least at 300. So you don't want him faster than Shock, but you still want him a little bit up there. These other stats, like I said, don't even worry about those. It's all about health and speed for Rex. Moving on to Arc Trooper. His main focus is going to be offense and speed. His main role is being a damage dealer, so we need him to stick around and deal as much damage as possible. Ideally, you'd probably want to use an offense set with the health set. You want to try to pad his health as much as possible. Like I said, you want him to stick around to deal as much damage as possible. It also needs to be pretty quick. Want him going as much as possible. So let's check out his mods over here. Like I said, always going to be a health primary on the circle. Try to get as much speed as you can. Any offense that you can squeeze out of it would be nice, but like I said, try focus mostly on the speed. Your cross needs to be an offense primary. Also, these pretty much all these mods need to be 6-dot ideally to help reach these target goals. Like I said, you may not have them just yet, but that's something that you'll be working towards. Offense primary. Try to get as good of a speed secondary as you can. This one has a little bit of flat offense. It helps a little bit, but whatever you can squeeze out of it. Triangle. A lot of people want to run crit damage on this normally, but it's best to run offense on your triangle. The reason being for that, his turret, the offense for that is based off his physical damage, which is just straight offense. So the more offense you can get, the more the harder that turret hits, and that turret's going to be assisting a lot with whoever you're passing it to. So, anyways, you need that as your offense as a primary stat on that. Try to focus on speed. This one has a really nice health secondary. You may get one like that, you may not. I mean, they're mods are all over the place, so it is what it is. Diamond, like I said, speed secondary. This one has some good, a little bit of padding for the health and the offense. Square, speed again is your main focus. The health is nice and offense to add on there, but focus on the speed. Your arrow, again, crit avoidance is ideal. You may not have one, of course. If you don't, you could probably, it really depends. You have to play with what your stats are looking at. Could be an offense, could be a speed arrow. It just really depends on where your numbers are at to get it there. But all your crit avoidance, you want to try to get the speed as high as you can. It's a big variance on what you can get out of them. His goals, his health, you want him to try to be as high as possible, obviously. Try to get him at least above 85k, I think is what you want to try for. But I mean, like I said, as high as possible is ideal. His speed, they at least needs to be at 280. The faster the better. He doesn't need to be faster than 310, but over 280 is very ideal. Your damage, your physical damage, you want it over 10k. Higher the better, but you're trying to shoot for at least 10,000 on here. Special offense doesn't matter at all. Don't even worry about that, but this is the other number that you want to check for. Echo, for him, he's a little, I wouldn't say complicated, but there's a lot more flexibility in terms of the mods that you can use, or the mod sets that you can use. You really want to try to go for the crit damage set to get the highest crit damage you can out of it. He's your other damage dealer in this mission. There's another build that you can focus on more offense. I'll go into that here in a little bit. Let's try to go over some of the way I have him set up. For him, I have him with crit damage and a health set. Again, health primary for the circle. Try to get as much speed out of there. Any offense that you can squeeze out of any of these are going to be massively helpful. This cross needs to be an offense primary also. Again, speed, whatever else you can get out of there. Your triangle needs to be a crit damage triangle. Try to get as much speed. These are pretty tough to get speed up there. Anyways, in my experience, I have a really tough time rolling anything with good speed. This is the best one I have, and I think the next highest one I have might be a plus 12 speed. But anyways, try to get as best a speed secondary as you can out of that one. Diamond, just look for speed. This one's not very good, but it's the best one that I have. Speed, this one has some good health and a little bit of offense to pad it with. Square, again, speed. You're not going to get, this one's an offense primary, so you're really not going to see much of offensive secondary stats on it. So just look for speed. If you can get some health, that'd be good, but get what you can out of it. Same thing with him. Crit avoidance is ideal. You may not have the crit avoidance, like I said, so for him, some of the other options on your arrows are going to be offense or even speed. Really depends on which numbers you're hurting for the most. If he's super slow, you may want a speed arrow. If he's not hitting hard enough, you may want to have an offense primary arrow if you have it. The numbers that we're looking at for him, his health is not going to be very high because the only health primary one he's going to have is this circle. These are all going to be focused on offense or crit avoidance. So your health, you try to pad it as much as you can, but you're not going to see a high number out of him. Speed, you ideally want him above 240. In that mod guide, there's a slower build, but from what we're seeing, the slower build really doesn't benefit you much. Even if he's hitting really hard, slow build just doesn't seem to be as effective as having him a little bit faster. Your crit damage with that crit damage set, you should be, and the crit damage primary on your triangle. You should be seeing that at 222 with 6 dot mods anyways. You want that as high as you can get it. Your damage, what you're shooting for with the what they call the fast build, you want to shoot for at least 6,500 physical offense. The harder he hits, the better. But shoot for at least that, even with the faster build, or with the slower build. The goal is even higher. It's like 9,500, I think, for that one. The higher you can get it, like I said, the better. Your special offense, you really can't do. It bases off your physical offense. So once you get this up high enough, this number will kind of take care of itself. But you want it over 10K or 9.5, I believe, for the regular build or the faster build, and over what is it? Over 11K for the slow build. Which, like I said, if you take care of this number, this number will take care of the special offense anyways. There's not a whole lot of control you have over it other than getting this number up by your offensive stats. He's, like I said, he's a little more, I wouldn't say flexible, but like you have more options in terms of the types of mods you can use for him to get him to hit these numbers. But the main ones to focus on: speed, try to get that health up, of course, your crit damage, and then this offense number right here. You want to get this up as high as you can. Fives, lastly, even though he's last to mod, he's still very important. His role in this is just going to be to pass over his stats through a sacrifice to the other clones. So the stats that get passed over are health and protection, which protection doesn't matter a whole lot, but your health, speed, and your offense get transferred over to the other guys. So getting those stats as high as possible is what you're shooting for. You'll notice I have every one of these as a health sets. Each one of these are going to be health primaries. What you're looking for is to get as much health, speed, and offense as you can out of each one of these. You just got to use what you have left pretty much for fives. Like I said, just try to squeeze what you can out of them. Your arrow, they recommend, or they kind of look at it at having a crit avoidance arrow on him also. I don't like that build. I think it's a waste. Crit avoidance doesn't transfer over, so you're just missing out on that extra health or offense, whatever else you have in there, and speed that'll transfer over to him. I recommend health is the best one to use, in my opinion. If you don't have a good health primary one, try going for a speed arrow so you can transfer that speed over there. But his numbers, minimum you want to try to shoot for at least 110K on his health. The higher the better. Speed, you want to at least try to shoot for, I believe 215 is what they're looking at, but get it as fast as you can. His offense, they don't mention this, but this offense plays a pretty handy role in helping boost up your damage for your guys. Try to get this, anywhere above 5K. The higher the better, but try to shoot for above 5K, 5,300, 5,500, something like that is pretty good. Anyways, that's how I've got my guys set up. Hopefully this will help you out a little bit. Reasoning, I'll go over a little bit of reasoning why you're modding them this way. Shaak for health and speed. You want her to take as many turns as possible while surviving the longest. She's your only healer. She also is the only one. The one in the leader slot is the only one that can remove trample. Also, Rex, his main role is to annihilate Django. He does have some useful mechanics also, but his cleanse is very helpful. It not only cleanses, but it can also put tenacity up on you if you don't have any debuffs, so it can prevent Django's burn and things like that, or exposes from the reek. Arc Trooper, like I said, is your damage dealer. He's there just to hit the reek or whoever his target is, passing the turret over to, most of the time it's going to be Echo, but passing the turret over to whoever needs it. It's most beneficial to anyways. Same thing with Echo. He's going to be another damage dealer. His AoE hits really hard once you have offense up, or once you have the 5 sacrifice also. But he also can assist. While he has trampled, he can't assist. But once you remove trampled from him, he's able to assist these other guys with their basic attacks. So that comes in handy. Fives, like I said, his main role is to sacrifice and transfer his stats over to these other guys. There's an ideal time for him to die, and you want to try to not let him die too soon or too late in the game. But the matches kind of dictate how things go. So, but anyways, hopefully that's going to help you guys out a little bit. I do encourage you to get with me so I can help you out with any modding or any other questions that you may have. But anyways, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching it.